Hello, everyone. This is Henry, and welcome to Ticket to Life. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you've had a great past week. I'm a little late on my podcast because, I usually do it on a Wednesday or Thursday, but I've had some excitement in my life. This past week, my daughter was here from Kansas, so we had a great time with the two granddaughters and son-in-law. Went to the Arboretum, Dallas Arboretum, of course. If you're ever in Dallas area, go there. It's beautiful. It's a peaceful place. If you need to find a place for peace, that's where you got to go. I think that's what my heaven will probably be like. It's peaceful, beautiful, children. But it's so big if you don't like kids. Don't worry. You may see a few, but it's such a big place that they have a certain area just for kids. But anyway, thank you for listening. We had a great time. That was our early Thanksgiving for us because we will not be together the first time in 35 years that we won't have Thanksgiving together. But guess what? It's okay. Because we can be grateful and thankful each and every day, no matter what we do. And, that last episode I just did, it was on If You're Lost, and it was my 100th episode. I should have made a bigger hoopla about it, but I just lots of stuff going on, the new grandson and just a lot of good things, very good things. This past week I had a torn meniscus repaired. So that kind of threw the whole podcast. I'm trying to get back to my weekly thing for you wonderful listeners that listen every week, and I really appreciate it. But anyway, thank you for listening. I was thrilled about my 100th anniversary episode. Well, not an anniversary, but my 100th episode. I just wanted to let you know the top 5 episodes that I do have. I don't have the actual numbers in front of me, but the very top one is that been downloaded and listened to the most is Back the Blue. It's a good podcast. I get a little emotional. I'm talking about my son who is an officer. And the second one, I'm giving the top 5. If you like, this lady, maybe I should listen to her. The next one is Allow Me to Introduce Myself. And it's the very first episode. And it's when I listen to it, it's like, you can tell I was an amateur. But it's just about me, myself, so you could get to know me. And then the third one on the list was Philophobia, and that's the fear of love. And that one was downloaded many times, literally throughout the world. So a lot of people do have a fear of love. And then the fourth one on the list was Just Relax, as the doctor. And a lot of you ladies know what I'm talking about when it says just relax. And then the fifth one on the list was Texas Teacher Speaks Out. My daughter was a teacher here in Texas, but of course now she's in Kansas. Anyway, and she just kind of lets all her thoughts out. So anyway, those are the top 5. And so if you are wondering what my podcast is about, it is about life. And you can never have enough topics about life. Each and every day, something is going on. And just to let you know, Thanksgiving is upon us, like I mentioned earlier. And last year was episode 52, and it was Thanksgiving, the real story. And it aired November 22nd of 2022. So if you want to hear the real story of Thanksgiving, it's a little morbid. It's happy, but it's what really happened. At least that's what Google says, and I believe everything Google says. Dr. Google sometimes gives me the wrong diagnosis, so I can't listen to it all the time. But this week I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about superstitions. Next week I'll be talking about rituals. But I thought just something different, are you superstitious? I mean, do you knock on wood? I do. I mean, are you really superstitious? Now, on the Britannica dictionary definition of superstition, it's a belief or a way of behaving that is based on fear of the unknown and faith in magic or luck. A belief that certain events or things will bring good or, dun, 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 bad luck. So, again, do you knock on wood? or just kid about it like, oh, I'm just going to knock on wood. Just kidding. I don't really believe in that. But deep inside, you hope it works by doing this. It's hoping that something may occur or something may not. Or knocking or touching wood will ward off evil spirits. I myself think that I'm Pinocchio because I am always knocking on my head. And I am always knocking on something like a table, and it's not even wood. It has the finish of wood, but it's not. And I'm like, oh, close enough. But do I believe it? No, it's just that for me, that's just a habit. It's a funny habit, but I do it all the time. The ancient pagan cultures believed that trees is where some gods lived. So they would, if something was happening, they would knock on the trunk of a tree or trunk on, and this was apparently supposed to protect them. Now, I'm not sure we should really go by that, but yeah. So that's interesting to me. I thought it was very interesting. But have you ever heard of putting your purse / pocketbook / handbag, because we call them so many different things. It's just a purse, people. But anyway, on the ground, and how many cultures, African American, Hispanic, Latino, and Asian, and I am sure many others believe that this is disrespected to your money. So if you put your handbag on the floor, you're thinking that, oh my gosh, this is disrespecting my money. Well, unfortunately, I have no money to disrespect, so I'm not worried about that. But I don't like putting my purse on the floor anywhere, even at church. I do not like putting my purse on the floor. I don't know if that's just a habit that my mom instilled in me, but I don't like it because floors are dirty. They're nasty. They're not clean in any public place, right? You know what I'm talking about. Go to a restaurant. No, that's not going on the floor. It's either going in the back of my chair hanging, or I hang it on my leg. Well, on my kneecap, kind of. That's probably what caused the torn meniscus, because you would think I have small children, because I have everything. My son calls my purse the MacGyver bag, because I usually have everything in there. I don't know why I carry so much in there. But anyway, it is a heavy purse. I'll ask someone, can you hold my purse? And I'll go, oh my God, what do you have in here? I have no idea. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. That's that ADHD I spoke about a couple weeks ago. I don't like putting it on the floor because I don't think floors are clean. And you know what I'm saying. They're just nasty. Everyone walks on them. You don't know where people's feet have been. You don't know where they've been, what they've been doing. But anyway, putting your handbag on the floor could lead to your financial ruin. Have you ever heard of that? I have never, ever heard that. When I was looking up the different types of bad luck and stuff, I just thought, no, never heard of that. But spilling salt. I'm sure you've all heard about the spilling salt. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but we can all thank Leonardo da Vinci for this one. So if you have seen it, I'm sure you've seen it on a tapestry on the street. You've seen it on in people's houses. And if you look at that painting or picture or postcard, whatever, very closely, you will see at the Last Supper, look at the table, and what do you see? You see spilled salt. I don't think it was in a salt shaker. They probably used to put them in bowls or something. Can't imagine they had salt shakers, but perhaps they did. I don't know. But anyway, apparently I haven't looked at the picture in a while, so I'm not sure how it was spilled. But anyway, so it's spilled salt, and guess who knocked it over? Probably with his elbow. Go ahead, guess. Of course, Judas. You guessed it. I'm sure most of you guessed it. So I'm thinking, if you would like to start a superstition of your own, you can paint something and make it a famous piece of art, and you can create your own superstition. I mean, it's funny, but I mean, I think I mentioned last Halloween or I don't know, one of the podcasts about black cats. My dad used to say, if a black cat crosses your path, you need to spit 3 times. So guess what I do every so often if I see a black cat? Yeah, you'll see me spitting out of my car window. And I'm not a good spitter because I don't know how to spit. So please don't judge me. Anyway, so throwing salt over your shoulder is supposed to be good luck, I think. No, or bad luck. If something happens, or I think if the salt spills, that's what it is. If the salt spills, you're supposed to get some salt in your hand and throw it over your shoulder. Walking. Now, these are all superstitions that are bad luck. They're going to bring you bad luck. Walking under a ladder. How many of you have actually been walking down a sidewalk and there's a ladder and you make sure not to walk underneath it? I used to, but now it's like, okay, the ladder has not fallen and hit me on the head yet, so I'm sure at 65, I'm good to go. So anyway, walking under a ladder and a broken mirror. I will never forget growing up. I don't know, maybe it's a Hispanic thing. I'm not sure. But anyway, growing up, if a mirror broke, everybody's like, oh my gosh. And I don't know if it meant someone was going to die or you were going to die or what it means, actually. It must mean something bad. But anyway, they would put the broken pieces in water. And I will never forget, I was in elementary school. Yes, I remember that far back. And I was going to put my little tray up, so they can wash the plates and whatever. And I remember seeing a broken mirror in a bowl. So someone must have broken a mirror and they put it in the bowl. So see, superstitions have been around for a long, long time. So this one used to scare me as a child. It was step on a crack and you'll break your mother's back. When I took that literally. So I freaked out when I was a small child not to step on a crack because I was not going to cause my mother pain. I already gave her pain at birth. I had to hear about how painful she was in labor with me, but I did not want to break her back. So anyway, if you really love your mom, don't step on any cracks, especially purposely. Now, believe it or not, there are some really lucky superstitions. And it's find pennies. If you find pennies from heaven, there's a song. But anyway, that's supposed to bring you good luck. And I think that if it's heads up, that's good luck. If it's heads down, tails, you might as well just leave it on the ground. Now, I have heard, I don't know, this really isn't a superstition, dimes. And if you look it up on the internet, if you randomly find dimes, it's someone who has passed on to the other world, and they are letting you know that they are with you. Now, I don't know how true that is, but when I randomly find a dime in a weird place, I'm like, how did that get there? And I think, my mom's here or my dad's here. They're letting me know they're here. And you know what? I'm not going to let anyone tell me any different. If I find a dime, I'm just thinking they're here and telling me they're supporting me in anything and everything I do. So if you find a dime, just think, someone's watching over me. And the other thing is a lucky horseshoe. How many of you in Texas carry lucky horseshoes or throughout the world? I do not. I don't have a horse, never had a horse. I've been on a horse, but I've never had a lucky horseshoe. So anyway, I just thought I wanted to do a quick little fun podcast on superstitions because I had read, I know, I'm always reading a magazine and I was just talking about superstition, I guess because of Halloween. But yeah, it's interesting to all the stuff people say. Of course, now I don't want to get any backlash on this, but but my people believe in the evil eye. So if you admire someone or something, it's called el ojo. So the eye. If you admire something like, let's say you admire someone's hair, you're supposed to touch their hair because if not, you could give it the evil eye and it could fall out. Or their skin or something that they had that you just admire and you thought, oh, I just want that so bad. But if you don't touch it, it could just disintegrate, fall apart. I don't know. Ask me if I still touch someone's hair because it's so pretty, because I don't want it to fall out. Yes, I do. When my daughter was in town, she went to our wonderful salon stylist, Michelle, who we love and adore. And she's just magical. Her hands are just, when she washes your hair, it's like heaven. Anyway, so she does all this stuff to my daughter and, her hair. She didn't dye it. She's, conditioned it. My daughter's hair looked like, just silk. And I looked at my daughter and said, I got to touch your hair because I don't want her hair to fall out. So anyway, those are things about superstitions. And I know this is a crazy podcast, but I hope I don't lose any listeners from it. It's just for fun, folks. But anyway, I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that you have a great remainder of week. And my next podcast will be on time on Wednesday, and it will be on rituals. Do you have a ritual? Yeah. And don't forget, Thanksgiving is this week. Don't forget to be thankful for all you have. The people in your life, your jobs, your home, your fans, yes, if you have fans, yes, friends, family, people you're around. And if you're around people with negative energy, just move away from that. Anyway, this is Henry. Thank you so much for listening. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful, wonderful time with family and friends. Or if you're just planning to be alone, enjoy every moment. Have a glass of wine. I will be drinking wine on Thanksgiving. Until later, go find your blessings.